Hey everyone, it's Brittany and Katie with the Q team in Rochester, New York. We are here today to talk about this comes up a lot for me. Like, people are like, the market's crazy, houses are selling for so much.
It's a terrible time to buy.
Interest rates are going up. Why would I buy a house right now? Well, we're here to tell you why.
Still
why
a good time to buy a house
right now?
So, there are a handful of reasons why it is a great time to buy. One of those being what you just said. Interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
Interest rates have been at historical lows for a couple years now.
Yeah.
And they have started to creep up a little bit, and they're expected to, kind of continue to slowly increase. However, they are still incredibly low. So before things go up, if you wait a year from now, who knows if the interest rates might be at, 5% or whatever that they might increase to, you should take advantage. Take advantage because it's going to save you tons of money in the long term.
Truly. And then let's talk about appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
So we are seeing home values rise from November, December, even like from last month. Prices are still continuing to go up. So what that means for buyers right now is they could buy something for $200,000 today, and in a couple months it could be worth $225,000.
Mm-hmm.
So taking advantage of it now is locking us in this lower interest rate for our mortgage,
mm-hmm.
and then also knowing that we're still appreciating.
Mm-hmm. And who knows, maybe the rate of appreciation will slow down this year. They're kind of anticipating that.
But we've seen exponentially high rates
Mm-hmm.
locally.
Right.
So it slowing down is still a lot of appreciation that we're anticipating over the course of the next unknown amount of time. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And I've had a lot of conversations with either clients from a couple years ago or clients that ended up deciding not to buy a few years ago that are either saying, oh my God, I was, people were worried about this back in 2019. They were like, it's a seller's market. I'm just nervous that I'm paying too much and then I'm going to be, upside down on this in a few years. And now they're seeing all of this equity, all this appreciation that they built up in these few years, or they're like, I'm regretting not buying something.
It's costing me so much more now
to get the same house that I could have got $40,000 cheaper 2 years ago. So
it's true. Even the people that we've been working with for, let's say, 3 months or whatever, it's our people that we've been working, we've been showing houses for, we've been writing great offers, and they just haven't been the winning offer. They're even seeing that it's costing more for the same house, which proves that appreciation is happening. And the people who bought 3 months ago are
making out.
They have equity.
They're making out.
I'm going to call it instant equity because that amount of equity in 3 months sounds pretty instant to me anyways. I mean, it's not like the day you close you have 20 or 30 grand of equity, but if I could get 30 grand of equity in a matter of a couple months after I buy a house at what I think is like the top of the market, I mean, we're still going up.
So I guess all in all, the biggest fear for people is like, is there this bubble? Is the housing market going to crash? Our price is just going to like plummet, and I paid top dollar, and now I'm going to be in a tough financial situation if I go to sell this house. What the experts are saying is, no, this is not the same as 2008. This is very different. This is not necessarily a housing bubble. This is just an inventory shortage. It's a supply and demand issue. So there's low supply, there's a lot of demand. This demand is not expected to go away, and the supply is not expected to skyrocket, which would be what shifts the market completely. So that being said, is that things may, if they appreciate at a lower rate, that is kind of what's going to kind of normalize our market or get us a little bit out of this craziness.
Maybe make it feel a little bit more stable.
But it's still going to be increased. These prices are not going to be going backwards. So what you thought, was a $150,000 house a couple years ago is no longer $150,000, and it probably will never be again. So
this is a good example. What year was it?
I
just shared it. I think it was
6 years ago. Yeah, it was 6 years
ago. There was a 4-bedroom, 2,000 square foot house that we had listed in Greece.
Colonial, I think.
It was a colonial. For a measly $129,900, and I wish that I had looked up how
she
much
sent it to me, and we were just like, LOL.
Right? Like, what?
That's
now,
crazy.
I bet you they could probably get
200 plus.
Yep. So 6 years ago, and they probably didn't even pay $130 for it, honestly, because you could still negotiate down back then. So let's say they got into that house for $125. I don't know, I'm making that up. I could go look it up. Let's say they got into it at $125 6 years ago, and now it's worth $200.
It's crazy.
What?
So that time because they made that decision to pull the trigger. Their house is appreciated. They built up all this equity, and they've been paying towards their mortgage instead of paying rent. They've been putting that monthly payment
The
towards
whole
their
rent
house.
is another video.
We won't get into that. We already have in multiple videos.
Right? Because it's so stressful.
I know. So all in all, it's a wonderful time to buy a house. Don't be scared off by this market. It requires extra patience, but it's worth it.
And I know that doesn't feel like it because like it doesn't
tough.
sound like it is, but when you look at the past
facts.
6 months and what's projected for the next 6 months, it's a great time to buy a house. So don't be fearful if you are trying to decide now, like between renting or buying right now. I mean,
Just
go
hire
back
a
to a
good
previous
agent.
video, right, where we compare what it looks like to rent and buy, even in this market. And it still makes sense to buy now at what seems like top dollar, but that top dollar is still going up. So if you buy now at top dollar, in 5 months, you're going to look like you made a great investment because the top dollar is going to be even higher.
One of my clients that bought, I think it was right in early 20, it was like a little over a year ago. And she was like, we just, met with her to talk about potentially moving. She's like, my parents, everyone kept telling me I was crazy for buying this house. I was paying way too much. I was, a stupid investment. And she's looking at probably $75,000 more value today than when she bought it.
Good for her.
So she's like, see?
Right?
See, guys? I was
proving
right.
everyone wrong.
Yeah. So that's the win that we want you
Right.
guys to have. So take advantage. We're here to help.